Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? I just had a new album slash beat tape come out called Comped. I just felt like talking about some of the songs on it and how I made them. To all my returning viewers, I hope you're doing well. I know I haven't been very active on the channel. Life has been really busy and YouTube has just totally taken a backseat, and I've been focusing on making music. I've been focusing on learning drums. I've been trying to get better at songwriting, and I've been getting out and doing some gigs in my local scene and stuff. So, YouTube has just taken a bit of a back seat, but I'm here now, and I just felt like breaking down some songs off of my new album for you guys. Yeah, so the track I'm going to be talking about today is the opening track off of my album called Loser. The whole point of this album was it was kind of a compilation of different beats I've just made and have kind of shelved over the last like 4 or 5 years. So this is one of the more recent songs. I just recorded this one a few months ago. It's a really sick song. I was really into Portishead when I recorded this, and there's definitely some Portishead inspiration. But if you want to hear the song before I dive into it, just so you have some more context, again, album, link in description. You can go stream the song if you want. Or if you just want to watch me break down the song with no context, that's cool too. The song actually started off with me recording a little bit of a break beat on my drum kit, which is behind me. So yeah, that just loops throughout the whole song. It's just a kick mic, a snare top mic, a hi-hat mic, and an overhead. So like, here's the kick by itself. Here's the snare top mic. And I put some spring reverb on there. I put this Arturia reverb spring plugin on there. I love this. This is my favorite spring reverb plugin. And then I had a hi-hat mic on there. Really gritty. I think I'm just running it through I've got some Ableton Overdrive on that channel, which is and some filtering going on. And then the mic that kind of brings the whole kit together is the overhead mic. I just had a mono overhead mic just atop the kit, just kind of recording everything. This is that mic. And then, yeah, just to get an idea, the overhead mic is so important because without the overhead, this is just all the close mics by themselves. Still sounds good, but then when you add the overhead in, you just get more glue, you get more, of this, just kind of the overall sound of the kit. I'm running all that through my drum template effects, which is just an Ableton glue compressor going into a Sound Toys radiator, going into some warm tape on Saturn II, and then just this kind of weird secret sauce kind of Pro Q preset I made for myself. And then all of that is being run through Sketch Cassette just to kind of give it a little bit more of a lo-fi texture. I've spent the last 5 or 6 years of my music production journey just using sample drums and like an Easy Drummer, so it's always like really cool when I get to record live drums and they turn out like this cool. But yeah, so that's the breakbeat. That was the foundation of the track right there. I loved that little breakbeat, and then what I ended up doing is I kind of started screwing around with like some weird sounds, and I wanted some kind of weird, eerie ear candy going on in the background. So I ended up coming up with this glitchy, bubbly sound. Which actually is just a super pitched up sine wave. So you can see it's pitched up 22 semitones. Let's take off the plugins and pitch it back to where it originally was at. I pitched it up a bunch and took advantage of Ableton's Beats warping algorithm and put it on this middle setting with the 2 arrows pointing forward. I made it mono and then ran it through some RC20, just a lot of weird like glitchy stuff going on. I recorded these 2 parts really quick, so I had the drum and the glitchy bubbles. And I kid you not, I sat right here in this chair, stumped. I had no idea where to go from here. Like literally for probably about 45 minutes to an hour, I just sat here with that loop on repeat, thinking. Because the way I like to produce, when I'm here making a song, I like to hear the sound in my head before I put it in the DAW, like before I record it. Like, and normally it doesn't take me that long. Normally it doesn't take me an hour to figure out what to put in. But I mean, this one just really stumped me. I just didn't know where to go from there. But yeah, like I like to visualize. And so I was trying to think, where can I go from here to kind of draw this all together? Picked up my guitar and I recorded this little progression. I just DI'd the guitar. I didn't use any amp, but it's just going through some compression, a little bit of filtering here with the EQ, and then it's going through this Goodhertz Lossy plugin that's giving it that weird kind of lo-fi MP3 kind of sound. And then that little reverb you hear on there too is also coming from this plugin. This plugin also has like a little reverb module over here. So it's going through a little bit of the Goodhertz Lossy reverb. Then from there, I added a bass guitar, which is just my Epiphone bass over here. I've used it on a million songs of mine. Then from there, I think I added a little bit extra ear candy. I added this part, this little thing right here. Which is actually a sound from Omnisphere that I, again, ran through Goodhertz Lossy. I added in a little yell in the intro here. Then from there, I started hearing a vocal in my head, like a melody. I wrote some lyrics like very quickly. I think earlier on in the day, I kind of had this idea, like this lyric idea. I was feeling really like melancholy that day, just pretty normal. I feel melancholy all the freaking time. These lyrics were very just in that moment, you know, they're a little cryptic and stuff like my lyrics usually are, but you know, I mean, I just loved them and they really resonated with me and they just it just fit the vibe of the song. Like it just worked. Everything just fit, you know? So anyway, I started tracking some vocals. A lot of layers going on here.
Check. Try and get a little right. Hey, what you up to today?
Yeah, and then you could hear like at the beginning, all of the like little, I talk to myself a lot when I track vocals. These are all little bits of me like talking to myself before the take starts right here. But this is 4 different groups of vocals. So there's, this group is me singing, this green group, yellow group, this greenish yellow, is me singing in like my regular, like my chest register.
What you up to today?
And then you go down here, and this is me, another group right here, the purple group of me singing in my falsetto.
What you up to today?
And then this group down here is me, another 4 takes of me singing, but then I pitched them up artificially in Altar Boy.
What you up to today?
And that kind of gives it like the Elmo-ish sound, I think. Yeah, just on each one of these tracks, I have Soundtoys Little Altar Boy doing an octave up and 3.8 on the formants.
Hey, what you up to today?
Little pitchy there, but you know, that's the thing about gang vocals like this though, is that it really doesn't, you know, you can get away with not having perfect takes for all these tracks because once you sum all the tracks together and you play them all at the same time, you can't really hear all those pitch discrepancies as much. Like if you're really flat, you'll notice it. But if you're just like a little flat or a little sharp or just a little off in one of these takes, like there's 12 different vocal takes here going on simultaneously, so it just kind of masks all of it. None of these vocals are being tuned. And some of that pitch variation actually makes the vocal sound bigger. If all the vocals were perfectly in pitch, it'd sound really small. So some of that dissonance, you know, that unison kind of makes it more of a big sound. So, and then in the second half, I don't know, I guess I'll just call this the hook or the chorus. In the second half of that, I bring in these little harmonies, which are actually just copy pasted from the Altar Boy group, this red group right here. I put them down here, and I'm actually not using Altar Boy on these. I'm pitching these up in Ableton, but I'm pitching them up 17 semitones to get a fifth harmony from the main melody.
I don't know what to say.
And then all together.
You all just turn away.
Yeah.
And then some more candid moments here at the end. And then I'm running it through this Galaxy Tape Echo just to give it some vibe. Last but not least, I'm running it through a Echo Boy, which is giving it even more space. This is what gives the vocals a majority of the space. So if I turn this off and just leave the Galaxy Tape Echo on, this is what the vocals sound like.
What you up to today?
Still a good amount of space and vibe, but it wasn't as much as I wanted. I wanted a little more.
Hey,
Bigger.
what you up to today?
Then just to cover some transitions, I added this little reverse whoosh sound, which is also from Omnisphere. So that just kind of adds more momentum going into the sections. So like if we come from the intro here, going into the chorus, in the second half of the chorus here, I just added in like a little tambourine. With some chorus on it just to kind of smooth out some of the harshness. It's actually that tambourine on this wall back here. What I did as just a final kind of mixing touch, I grouped the vocals, the tambourine, the little fairy bounce, or the little fairy twinkly pad sound, and the guitar. I grouped all those together and put a sidechain compressor on the group and sidechained it to the kick drum. So then whenever the kick drum hits, all of these layers right here are ducking out of the way. I did add a couple more drum embellishments. Just a ride cymbal. And then I added this little crash cymbal, which is, it's not really a crash. Again, it's a ride cymbal, but I'm just hitting it once, and I just added that for some extra impact in the second half of the chorus here. I also added this little drum fill, bridging the first half of the chorus into the second half of the chorus. That's just Easy Drummer, just some like MIDI clip I found. And then the little pitch rise you see or you hear in there is this kilohertz frequency shifter that I'm automating up. Then it just does that weird little swoosh up in pitch. And then last but not least, in the outro of the song, I switch out the guitar for a little Juno action going on, little Juno synthesizer pad sound thing. That is just an Arturia Juno. I love this synth. I use it all the freaking time. Just a little patch that I was messing around with. I added a bunch of Valhalla Vintage Verb onto it. And then again, ran it through some sketch cassette just to kind of dirty it up. But here's the synth patch all by itself. And then all together. And then I'm automating a fade out on this Ableton utility. So the song just fades away. That's Loser. That's the whole song. Really happy with how it came out. This is probably one of my favorite beats I've ever made. Like, it's so cool. Like, I remember when I made it, I listened to it in the car like a bunch the morning after. And it was really proud of it. Stayed up till like 4 a.m. finishing up all the, final details and just getting everything together. But yeah, really proud of this song. This is the opening song on the new album I just released called Comped, which, yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So stream it if you want. It's in the description. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, drop them down below and I'll get back to you. I try and get back to every single comment. Yeah, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.